But it's not really, remember, again, to beat the stores. This is so you could have a lot of products under one roof and really change your life and make it easy. Because if not, walking into one of these healthier food stores is very confusing. It's the first thing my dad says. He says, "Is everything good in this store?" Just because it's a, you know, a healthier food store. It's not a health food store. It's a healthier food store. And I said, no. Still probably about 90% of the things in here I don't eat. I can't. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because if I eat them, I get sick. I'm very sensitive. That's why a lot of times I got into this, is because of the sensitivity. You really sometimes only get into things is because of something that pushes you to actually get into this direction. So my 15 years of seeing patients really woke me up after about 200,000 patient visits. That's a lot of seeing different complaints and symptoms and different things. Really, we call a practice. You go to a doctor, remember, they don't know anything. They're just going to practice on you and most likely give you a recipe. Yeah, this is true. You're going to get a recipe, an RX, and if it doesn't work this week, come back and I'll write you another recipe. Okay, so the best recipe you can actually do for yourself is not get to the doctor. And I always make a joke about this, but if you go to the doctor, he's going to or she's going to show you their pedigrees or their degrees. MD, DC, DO, acupuncturist. But we see that you've passed your grades and you got yourself your degree, but do we really know that you know anything? How do we know that you can show us what you've learned? Is only really by the reflection of what that person's become themselves. Most of the doctors are very unhealthy. Very. Because a lot of them have stress. Okay? A lot of them are trying a lot of the pharmaceuticals that they put out because a good doctor would. Why wouldn't you? I'm going to give you this. I got to know what it does and how it feels. If not, then I'm just a quack. I got to try it all out, don't I? How do I know? What, the drug salesman behind the counter says it works? You know, there's 50 million people in the United States on Prozac, Zoloft, and Paxil, or some type of antidepressant medication. That's embarrassing. Okay, what is that all about? Is it possibly because we have a toxicity problem? Is it possibly because we've lost our minerals, so we don't have conductivity? So if we don't have conductivity, there's no way for us to really feel pleasure. Can't. If your body's only working at 10 or 20 or 30% as far as your emotions, then how could you really feel that you want to do anything? So the whole idea is, hey, let's go for a run. I don't feel like it. Why don't you? I don't feel good. Okay? That's depression. You mean physically don't feel good? No, I just don't feel good. I just don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing anything. Okay, this is a lot of people. It's like a disconnection of vitality. Okay, I've had depression. Everybody's here's had depression sooner here or there, whatever it would be. From someone stealing your car to just becoming toxic or just whatever the case may be. There's a variety of different types of these dis-eases. So we have three different categories of people that we try to work with. The first category, and all this stuff is basically, like I said, it doesn't matter where you fit in on this chain. It doesn't matter what group I'm going to talk to you about. Everybody does pretty much the same stuff. It just has to be pushed to you in a different direction to be able to make it so you can grab it. So let's say if you're the sick group, disease to ease is what you want. You have a dis-ease, okay, and you want to get ease. That's a big group here on the United States right now. 1 out of 45 children have autism. You've got a huge, huge problem with 2, 3, and 4 generations of eating GMO, demineralized, or MPK, or a combination of the 3 foods. Remember, MPK only has 3 minerals, and if you think that if you had children and you had NPK foods, and you fed your children NPK foods, and they had children, and they fed their children NPK foods, and you did that for 4 generations. Anybody ever heard of a study called the Pottinger study?
Yes. The cats?
You can do it with mice. I did it with mice. I did it myself. I did it with Coca-Cola, McDonald's, hamburgers, Taco Bell. We just did them with the food, with fluoride in toothpaste, and it kills them. Okay? You know, these are just like a long time ago. I used to do a lot of experiments with mice just because they're very sort of similar like what we are. How do you make a rat or a mouse fat? Do you know? Why don't you look up on Google, put MSG/fat rats. All it takes is one shot. Here, you guys are all diabetic doctors. Okay, you're scientists. And you know what? You're ordering in my company rats that are fat. Because rats don't get fat unless we make them fat. People don't get fat unless we make you fat. How about that? So if you take one shot of monosodium glutamate, which has about 50, if you look up alternative names for MSG. How about everything that says natural flavors on it has MSG? Remember, these guys are getting good. They're saying, no, you guys are getting too good, so we have to keep changing the names. We have to keep changing the strategy because we're in business to make you fat, and then we're also in business to try to get you back to health. Wait a minute, you get me sick, and then you get me healthy. Boy, that's a good business. So, the three different categories. One is disease to ease, big category. The second, which is a small category, is carbon-based people to crystalline-based people, and those are a conscious group. They get that idea. Carbon-based to crystalline-based. Carbon-based to crystalline-based. This is plant-based. This is solar-based. This is not solar-based. This is actually taking inferior energy. Just think if you eat meat at this level. The cow or the animal eats the grass, which transmutes the energy and minerals back into the body. You then eat the flesh to be able to try to be able to get the energy that you want. But the problem is that it's such a low vibrational tune of energy that your body doesn't break it down. You are what you eat, and if you eat this lower vibration, this is the level of vibration you become. This is the level of activation that you get. And this is a huge problem because all the creatures that really kill you or actually cause you suffering live in the colors of red, orange, and yellow. They live in this color band. Remember, this is a transmutation. It doesn't mean that organic foods is in the yellow. This is getting out of the red, and this is you moving up, and this is pinching or squeezing your DNA to be able to rise its vibration up. Food is one of the easiest ways with fluids to change your tune. Easiest. You are what you eat. Everything on these tables here are heirloom. There are no GMO or no hybridized, and if we really, let me tell you, the food business, Brian is one of our top salesmen for Ultimate Superfoods, is our family company also. This is our consumer side of the fence, but we sell to people directly, wholesale, which is sort of a really not well-liked way for the retail side. So our whole side of the fence here is really to find players that really want to step up after you start to really see this truth. And what happens if you see this truth? You want to go tell other people. It really spurs on the majority of the people. So you have the first group, you have disease to ease. Okay? Second group is carbon-based to crystalline. Those are conscious people. The first group are the sickies. It's a big group. Second group is a small group, which is the conscious group. Wanting to become more aware of becoming more aware of becoming more aware is the conscious group. From the unaware are unaware of being unaware. That's pretty deep. Huh? 3 rings this way or 3 rings of density this way. The third ring is a huge group again, and this is where everybody here most likely is healthy. You go to work, you navigate every day in some degree. You're not really healthy, but you are navigating a lifestyle, okay? So this group wants to optimize their lifestyle. They want to become more healthy. It's very simple. They're changing their lifestyle from acid to alkaline. Makes a big group. Real simple. So the first group is disease to ease. Second group is carbon-based to crystalline. And the third is acid to alkaline. Very simple. Which group do you fit in? Are you the sick group, the conscious group, or the healthy group? That's a lot of, and each group does the same thing to get better. So if you're sick, I could care less. Doesn't matter, so what? That's just a symptom. You're demineralized, you're plugged. You have a low electrical magnetic field. These things, and it's not just one department. Remember, there's like 12 constellations, and each constellation has a different energy, vibration, and it equals this thing called consciousness. So think of there's 12 departments of healing this thing. Let's go through a couple more, and we're just going to go through these sort of quick here. Consciousness is the game. To awaken within the dream is really a big idea again. To awaken within the dream. Open your hands in and out like this. How do you do that? How are you doing that? You're dreaming it, aren't you? You have no idea how to do that. Do you? Does anybody? No, you're dreaming it. As I walk, I'm only dreaming this machine. At light speed, it picks up my thoughts, and it follows what I want it to do. It's called the dream world. You ever heard of this? It's called the dream world or the world of illusion. Okay? Consciousness is manipulated by some. There's many more in these, but let's just pick these departments because I don't want to overwhelm you. Sun, exercise. Each one of these things manipulate consciousness. As above, so below. And if you want to manipulate your health, you manipulate this. This is the supercomputer. This is where everything realistically needs to start from and have a more true, what you can call it, a direct route to really understanding that this is a multiplex system. It's not one thing that's going to help you. It's a little bit of a lot of things. So if anybody says, oh, take this and it's going to make you healthy, or use this, you know that's not true. Sun, exercise. Okay, body fat affects consciousness. Acids affects consciousness. What kind of acids? Sulfuric acid. You know what that is? It's battery acid. If you have a drop of battery acid in your water every day, do you think that would be good for you? Okay. What does battery acid do? Well, it has to be neutralized, so how does it neutralize it? It steals the calcium out of your bone because your blood has to say 7.3 to 7.46, and hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, or acetic acids are one of the 3 biggest toxic acids in our food supply. Sulfuric acid is in your water supply. 1/4 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate, gone. Aluminum-free sodium bicarbonate neutralizes the acid. It's in most of your bottled water. The filters will not take the acid out. The acid goes through the filters. So if anybody tells you that they're giving you bottled water that's been run through a filter, sulfuric acid does not get filtered. It's a liquid. It has to be neutralized. It's very simple chemistry. Okay? Now, demineralized. If you have these acids, what do you think happens? You lose all your calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, zinc, boron, and silicon, which are your alkalizing minerals, which is your bank account of your pocketbook of your body.